Well, I think that these are pretty savvy clients overall. We really are talking about cutting edge people in many cases, and I mean the earlier clients, let's call it bleeding edge. So they're savvy enough to have gotten into a very favorable investment or are entering into a market which is really groundbreaking. So in the same way, they're trying to make sure they get the best expertise. They're also very considerate of value.
Which is a great client to have in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, very true. So what I think the biggest thing is really an understanding. I tell people the first thing not to do is, even though we can proverbially refer to everything commonly as Bitcoin, which many people do, and it's sort of the Kleenex term in this case. If you were, let's say, in the business of selling paper, you wouldn't want to refer to every tissue as Kleenex. You would want to know the differences. You would want to establish that early expertise, and you don't have to know every exchange. You don't have to know every single coin, because you probably never will. It would be an effort and futility to try and memorize everything, but understanding the majors and the basics and things like that really starts to differentiate yourself from someone who can just say, well, give me your output and I'll shove it into my tax software and give you an answer. They want to know that you could provide the value and actually help them.
Yeah, and those are people, I mean, with those habits of being smart in the first place, getting into a groundbreaking field, those are clients that a lot of us want to work with.
Very much so.
But we do have to rise up to that point to be able to have that person say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and cancel these other 2 appointments. Let me just stay here and start work with you, sign an engagement with you.
Certainly the crypto clients are a combination usually of both very successful and in many cases hyper intelligent, which can make for a great client if you have a good rapport and working with them. And also at the same time, they have an appetite for risk, so they want someone who actually understands it and not someone who's going to say, we have to always take the simplest position because I don't know the depth.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, because then we're kind of putting we're putting ourselves ahead of the client at that point, because we're like, we don't feel comfortable with it, but that client is looking for us to actually put their needs first.
Very true.
And within obviously the bounds of what's legal and ethical.